welcome to another reading vlog. I have already started this reading vlog, as you will have seen from the footage from yesterday. It is now Monday, but yesterday I had a really nice walk. I just took the day for myself and went to explore, well not explore, I've been there before, but re-explore this lovely area around where I live. I do this really nice walk where I go into town via a canal, and this walk was an extended version of that, so I went to the other end of the canal and walked in, which was really, really nice. It was so sunny yesterday. I took my book with me. I sat on top of the hill that looks over my town and I just read there for a little bit. Then I walked along and read as I was walking, which was a bit of an experience. I've not done that before, and it was quite nice to do that. It just was something, a little bit of a different way of me enjoying the walk and still getting the fresh air and enjoying being outside, because part of the walk is a bit that I'm really familiar with and do quite often, and it's just around some residential areas to get to where the route begins. So I was just reading all around that route, obviously being very careful of where I was walking in cars and things. I was still very aware of my surroundings, but yeah, I quite enjoyed doing that. So that was yesterday, and then I got back and I watched, what did I watch? A Nice Girl Like You, which is Lucy Hale in a romantic comedy, sex positive film. I've watched it before and I just love it. If you are looking for something that is good fun, definitely with you a couple of laughs, has a really lovely sense of unity with the friendships, and just has a nice romance throughout it, would definitely recommend checking this out. It follows a main character who realises that she wants to know a bit more about her body and about sex and about how she responds to sex. So she goes on this journey of finding out all these things and making a list of things she wants to learn. So yeah, it follows her completing this list, and it's such good fun. So I watched that. I watched an episode of Russian Doll season 2 because I loved season 1, so I'm intrigued to see where season 2 goes. And then I read for a little bit more, so that was Sunday. This week I have no big plans because I go on holiday now in 2 and a bit weeks, and I'm entering into that stage at the latter part of this week where I'm kind of going to semi-isolate myself away just so I don't risk not being able to get on that plane. I'm still going to go out for walks and things, but I'm not going to go sit in cafes. I'm going to try and do my shopping online for my food shops. I'm really excited to go to Corfu in a couple of weeks, and all the books I can read in the sun. It's just going to be so good. So yes. That is my, it's not even a week plan, is it? I just said that I'm not going to go anywhere, basically. I'm going to do Patreon live streams, I'm going to do Twitch streams, I'm going to create some content, I'm going to read some books, and I'm going to go on daily walks. Also, if you're watching this thinking, Beth, where's all your hair gone? In last week's weekly vlog, I got a haircut. I have gone short, and this kind of colour thing happening. This is going to be more coppery once I've washed it, I think. I've been told that it's darker at the moment, but once I do the first wash from the hairdressers, I will then see it become a little bit lighter. So yeah, that's going to change a little bit, but I just got it all cut off. I thought, why not? It's only going to grow back, and I just wanted the change. So I'm loving it. I'm still trying to get used to styling it, but I wash it either tonight or tomorrow morning. Haven't decided yet, and that is going to be the first time since the hairdresser. So I don't know how it's going to turn out after that, but I'm going to give it a go. Reading wise, I was in a massive reading slump last week, like such a big reading slump, and the week before. I wasn't fancying any of the books on my TBR. I felt daunted by everything. I didn't know what I fancied, but I wanted to read, and I just didn't have the mindset thinking I'm going to sit down and read now, because the books I was reading weren't calling to me. So I finished Ghosted this morning by Jen Ashworth, which was what I was reading last week and not enjoying. I ended up giving that one 2 out of 5 stars, so I still didn't enjoy it. It was very bleak, but not in a way that I at all wanted to hear about. I really disliked the main character. I will acknowledge, having now finished it, that there is a lot of trauma attached to her and what she's experienced, and it's not something she necessarily opens up a great deal about, and I think that does give us more of an insight into her character. However, I just found her deeply self-centered, deeply dislikable, and for me, that meant I didn't really like the book. I'm not going to say it was badly written, because I understand that for some people they might enjoy that, but I just couldn't get on with it for those reasons, unfortunately. So yeah, gave that one 2 stars, which is my lowest rated of the year. But I'm now currently reading The Deal still by Elle Kennedy, so I started this on Friday or Saturday? Friday. I started at the hairdressers on Friday. The Deal is part of a series called the Off-Campus books. They are all set in America around a university campus, and they are different smutty contemporary romances. Now, I am not a big smut reader, and there's no specific reason for this as such, but I just find myself finding more humour than anything else when I read smut. And I don't think I've really sat down and read properly smutty books deliberately knowing that they were smut. I think there's a line between what's a sex scene and what's a smut scene, and I think for me, in my head, smut is very much like over the top, lots and lots of sex scenes. Pretty much the whole plot is getting to those sex scenes. Now, the Off-Campus series is one that's been pitched to me as smutty books, and actually I feel like there's a little bit more to it. We have some themes running through it that give a little bit more to the story than I expected, and maybe had I known that sooner, maybe would have picked up sooner. I don't know. I've had friends telling me that I need to read this series for a while now, but I think it just needed to be the right time for me, and apparently that right time was being in the middle of a massive reading slump, because it has definitely helped to get me out of this slump. I'm currently about 70% of my way through The Deal, which is the first book in this series. I have just bought the second book. I don't know if I'll get to that this week or if that'll be one that I maybe save when I'm on holiday or something, but do you know what? They're quite good fun. As I said, I don't normally go for the massively smutty books, and there's no real reason for that because I am someone that really enjoys reading a good, well-written sex scene. I just think in the books that I've read with those kind of scenes, I've struggled to find something that I have felt achieves that for me. I often end up laughing at sex scenes. I want realistic sex scenes, okay? I don't want over-the-top fantasy-esque sex scenes. I just want realistic ones, and I know that isn't going to be everyone's cup of tea. I know some people are here for the over-the-top fantasy sex scenes, but for me, I just want something relatable and real, with people that feel relatable and real, and moments that feel relatable and real, and have the kind of clumsy elements that come hand in hand with any sex scene that should be providing some sort of element of realism to it. So this book surprised me by actually offering me somewhat of a trickle of reality in their sex scenes. Obviously, it is fictionalized, it is written to engage the reader, I acknowledge this, but I just feel like these sex scenes so far have not been horrendous. Not to say I haven't been in hysterics for some of them, particularly last night when there was a mutual masturbation sex scene, which is great. I love that they talked about that in a book. Great for sex positivity. But the guy finished himself off and the line was something like, I can't even like think about it without laughing. So the line after he had finished himself off was something like, the force of it nearly knocked him off balance. And I just like, what is jetting out of his penis? Like, is it a pressure hose? Is it pushed him across the room? I just had this image in my head of like when you see like on You've Been Framed or something, like videos of stuff gone wrong where you see like someone with a power hose and it just like blasts them up in the air. That's what I had in my head. So I laughed for a good 5 minutes about that last night. So these books are 100% entertaining me. These books, the one book, I've only read the first one. I'm reading the first one. It's entertaining me, it's fun. Obviously, I understand these books are not phenomenally written. They're not meant to be masterpieces. I'm not really critically reviewing them at all. However, the one flaw I have had with this book so far, and it would be wrong, I think, not to mention it because these books are all about sex and should be, hopefully, encouraging sex positivity. But one of the things that the first book so far has featured is contributing to the stigma around female orgasm and orgasming during sex. There is a big stigma around this already, and there is a big pressure on women to achieve an orgasm during sex, and that is why there is a lot of talk of fake orgasms and things. And our main character in this book does not help this stigma, but also the people around her add to the stigma in a fictional way anyway, therefore highlighting that it is a stigma. I'm not going to think into it that deeply, but alright, it could all be deliberately done to make us, the reader, think, hey, that's not fair, we should get rid of that stigma. However, the way it's written, it doesn't quite feel like it's doing it for that reason, but I don't like the pressure that it's putting on the main character, but also anyone reading it, that to have good sex, you have to have an orgasm, because that isn't necessarily the case, and I think that that can put a real heavy, unnecessary pressure on women, and is something that is always in sex scenes, and it annoys the hell out of me, especially when you have something like Sarah J Maas books where they have sex and then immediately the woman orgasms within like 20 seconds or something, and the sex itself lasts about 30 seconds, and you're just like, really? It might just be me that feels like this, and I hope I'm vaguely articulating what I'm trying to say, but it is just something that bugs me because I feel like it puts unnecessary pressures on women, and I don't like that. Okay, all of that aside, that's what I'm reading. That was what my Sunday was like. The rest of the week, who knows? I will catch up with you later. Hello, we are having a walk and talk update today because I have finished The Deal. Also, I swear every time I film anywhere, there's a siren going on. I finished The Deal. I gave it 3.5. There's ducklings! Hang on, there's ducklings. Did you see them? They're so tiny. Hello. Okay, sorry, I got distracted by ducklings, which I think is fair enough. So I gave the book 3.5 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it, I had a good time with it. I don't feel like I could have given it any higher than that because obviously the kind of writing that this is dealing with isn't anything amazing. It doesn't feel like it's particularly unique. The storyline certainly feels regenerated from things I've read that are similar in the past, but it was really good fun and I liked the sex scenes, so 3.5 stars. If you are thinking about picking this book up, I would definitely suggest taking out the trigger warnings because there was quite a lot going into it that I wasn't aware of before reading it. So we have storylines that follow abusive relationships from child and parent relationships and also a rape storylines. Both those storylines do have quite a prominent part within this plot, so I would definitely check that out before picking this book up. So I am now going to move on to reading The Mistake, which I started last night, which is book 2. I think it's called The Mistake, book 2 in this series. And I think it's the shortest in the series, so hopefully I will be able to get through it equally quickly because this is doing wonders for my reading slump. And book 2 follows one of the characters that we've already met in book 1, but we haven't really established much about them yet other than getting a vague insight into the character, so we get to follow them more in book 2 and get to know them a bit better. Sorry if you can hear the traffic, there is a main road right through there. But I am also reading A Woman Is No Man, which I picked up as an audiobook on SCRIBD. This is one that is on my TBR for fiction read for the month, so I am also reading books that are actually on my TBR. I'm enjoying it so far. I don't really know too much about it yet because I'm only about an hour or two into it, but we're establishing characters. There's 2 different timelines going on here, but it's a mother and daughter timeline, so 2 different timelines, one following the mum, one following the daughter. So it's very interesting to see from those 2 different perspectives and what changes between those timelines as well. So I'm liking that so far too. My arm is really aching me now, so I'm gonna stop talking. But yeah, we're just on a nice walk in a field nearby where I live. So I'm just gonna walk back now because I think my online food delivery is coming very soon. And then later tonight after work, I should get some more reading in. Yay! Hello. Smut update. A smut date. Smut date? Smut. An update on the smut. Okay, so hang on, I'm 25% into this book. This is The Mistake. This is book 2 in Elle Kenji's off-campus series, which follows 4 different high school students, not high school, they're at university. I don't know American school years. 4 different university students, 21% through, not even 25 yet. Page 59. 4 different university students, romances, so 2 different students in each book, as they all fall in love and have lots of sex. That's the book series, I've summarised it for you. So I'm on to book 2 of Elle Kenji's The Off-Campus series. This is The Mistake, as in the book is called The Mistake. This wasn't a mistake, in fact, it was the very opposite because I think these books have got me out of my reading slump. Yay! Applause, cheers, yay! I'm very happy that this has potentially got me out of a reading slump because I did not feel motivated to pick anything up last week or the week before. Over the Easter weekend, I read loads of books in quick succession of each other and then just didn't want to read anything else. So in book 2, we are following the main character's best friend from book 1. Now, we see him a little bit in book 1 and we see him fancying his best friend's girlfriend in book 1, the love interest in book 1. So at the start of this book, he's kind of still pining after her and is trying to distract himself and move on because he obviously knows that he shouldn't be pining after somebody that is going out with his best friend. So we're following him trying to move on and trying to get over the feelings that he has for her. We're also following another character who's going to be, I assume, the love interest. She, at the moment, all we really know about her is that her background is quite split between being told to always follow the rules and then being told to literally ignore all the rules and have a really good time. The other character we're following is kind of split between parents. One of her parents is telling her to follow all the rules, don't do this, don't do that, whereas the other parent is telling her to just relax a little bit, break the rules and have fun, and she's trying to work out which version she wants to be and trying to find a balance in between the two and trying to find herself, really. I think she's newer to university than this guy is. I don't know the years American schools have. In England, you're just a fresher for your first year, and then year 2, 3, 4, if there is a 4th year in a course, is just your 2nd, 3rd and 4th year. So yeah, I don't really know what age everyone's meant to be, but they're all 18 to 20 something or other, 1 to 2, I don't know, but I'm enjoying it. That is all that matters. This book, like the first book, does have a little bit of a pressure on female orgasm. I've already spoken about that. I'm not going to go into that again. As I've said, these books are just fun. They're not meant to be taken too seriously. I don't want to feel like I'm analysing them, but at the same time, I like talking about how sex is represented in books. I like talking about sex positivity, so that is where my brain goes with these books. We've also had a really annoying stereotype about OCD, but I'm just gonna try and shrug it off my shoulders. OCD rep in books is something I find really important. I have OCD. I've had OCD since I was, well, diagnosed since I was 14, but probably had it long before then as well. And seeing it in books for me is great because it's nice to see it getting representation out there. I do find it quite difficult sometimes to read about OCD in books because I don't want it to trigger a new form of the way my brain thinks about my OCD, if that makes sense. Like a kind of tic to do with my OCD. I don't want to trigger a new tic by reading about a character that has OCD. So as much as I love to see it in books, I don't necessarily reach for it myself. But what I don't like is when it's used stereotypically. The big stereotype of OCD is that people like things neat and they like to have everything straightened up and things, and people might say, oh, I'm a little bit OCD. And it's just not a good representation, because for some people that is how their OCD manifests itself, and in which case it is a compulsion in your brain for you to have to tidy, and you cannot not do it, and you have to straighten it, otherwise X, Y, and Z is going to happen that controls your brain thoughts. To just kind of jovial be like, oh yes, I'm OCD because I like things clean. It's not like a default reasoning. For example, I'm a very clean and tidy person. I like everything to have its place, but that is nothing to do with my OCD. My OCD is very much contamination OCD based, and when I was younger was counting based, so I'd count a lot of things repetitively in my head and kind of have a tick where I'd turn my head to check things and stuff. So that was how my OCD manifested itself, but it's a whole other conversation. Other than that, tiny little comment, I'm enjoying this book very much. Okay, those are my reading updates. I will read more. Actually, will I? I've got a stream on Twitch now, I'm streaming Skyrim, so will I read more? I don't know. I'm also trying to finish off the Durrells because we go on holiday very soon, and that is set in Corfu, which is where we're going, and I just wanted to watch it and finish it by then so I could have seen the whole series on this island, and I have just, well, over half of season 2 left. Not season 2, season 4, the final season. It's really good. If you haven't watched it, it's very wholesome, it's very funny, and I just really like it. It's about a family that move over to Corfu. It's based on a real family that actually did this, and it's a fictionalized version of what happened to them. It's really good. On the book, based on the book My Family and Other Animals, if you've heard that, which is actually right here. Ta-da! It's this. It's based on this, which is a book that I'm hoping to bring on holiday with me. Although I do have it on Kindle as well, but I don't want to pass up an opportunity to take a nice photo with this on the island. So I might take this one, or I might just stick to the Kindle copy, but I feel like it would be right, only right, to read this when I'm away. Okay, I'm gonna try and go for a walk now because it's been raining all day and I think it's finally stopped. So I will catch up with you later. Hello. I don't even know what day it is. It's Friday. Of course I know it's Friday. It's Friday. Hi. I don't have massive reading updates for you. I'm still making progress with, I forgot what it's called. The Mistake? I'm pretty sure it's called The Mistake. Because I have it on Kindle, I don't have to look at the title as much because the cover's not lying about the place. So, The Mistake by Elle Kennedy. The smut has been decent so far. I don't like this character dynamic as much as I did the first book. I preferred the romance and the relationship in the first book, but I am still liking this second one. Also, I forgot to announce at any point, because I'm just awful, that my Patreon book club pick has been selected, and it matches my walls and my chair and everything yellow in my life. So we're going to be reading this, The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. Every family has its secrets, the cover tells me. I can't remember anything more than that though. When Harriet Westaway receives an unexpected letter telling her she's inherited a substantial bequest from her Cornish grandmother, it seems like the answer to her prayers. There's just one problem. Hal's real grandparents died more than 20 years ago. Hal desperately needs the cash and makes a choice that will change her life forever. She knows that her skills as a seaside fortune teller could help her con her way to getting the money. But once Hal embarks on the deception, there is no going back. She must keep going or risk losing everything, even her life. I'm excited. I did know what this was about, but I just forgot, as I do with all books as soon as I read the blurb. It just falls out of my brain. So this is our Patreon book club pick for May and June. I'm very excited to get to it. I need a good suspenseful book, and Ruth Ware is so good at writing these kind of books. One by One is one of my favourite books from her. Just absolutely fantastic. I think it's one of my favourite books of all time. It's just so clever. So this is our Patreon book club pick, yay! I got a new shirt, by the way. If you were looking at it thinking, damn, that's an amazing shirt, where's that from? So I got it from New Look. It's 100% cotton, and it's like an oversized, hang on. See, it's an oversized white shirt with little teeny weeny sunflowers on it, because of course it does. So yeah, I got a new shirt. That's pretty much all my updates. I'll catch up with you later. Bye. I have very important updates. I bought plants. These are the plants. Say hello. So I'm kind of doing this mini self-isolation thing just so I don't risk getting COVID before I go on holiday, and just kind of keeping myself to myself. Not because I'm ill or anything, just because it just makes me feel less anxious about getting COVID and not being able to go on holiday. So that was what I was doing this week, and I had to nip into the post office to return a parcel. I knew I had to do that, it was a very quick visit. And then I saw that my favourite little indie shop that's kind of like Etsy but in real life had a new plant shipment, arrival, delivery, whatever it was. Plant delivery, because it's all local people sourcing it, and I picked them up and I'm so excited. Look how long this one is. I have one like this already that I grew from a baby, and now I'm so excited to have two because I love the plants that drape down, and this one is gonna go on my windowsill over here. I love it. That's the other one that I have. Look how long it's got, but it's only one strand that's super long. So I need to work out where this other one's gonna go, because I need it to flourish and grow and just be its best self. Okay, we've gone for this spot up here. I think I like this. It gives it plenty of room to grow down here, and I can see it from the TV spot. And yeah, I did have a fake ivy up here because I have this one. I've got a couple of these scattered through that are the fake ones from IKEA, just to add a little bit more. These ones are all real. And then we got this guy. Name suggestions are welcome in the comments below. The incredibly relaxing sound of main road traffic as I sit on my balcony. I normally put noise cancelling headphones on when I'm sat out here, but hello, it is Saturday and I have a goal for today to finish this book. I would like to wrap up both of the first two books in the L. Kennedy, whatever this series is called, off-campus series, by the time I have wrapped up this vlog this evening. Hopefully. That's the goal. I have under 50% left. I think it's about 100 pages or so. It should definitely be doable. I'm hoping that my mum and Pippin are going to come down today and we're going to go for a really nice walk. So if that happens, obviously I will not be reading the whole day, but I feel like I've got a pretty good chunk of time to read this morning. So I'm going to crack on with that now and let you know my thoughts later. Also, Eurovision is tonight. Quite excited about that. I'm going to get pizza takeaway. It's going to be good. I have finished The Mistake, book 2 in the off-campus series. I just bought book 3, although I don't know if I'll move on to that yet or actually pick something off of the TBR that I'm meant to be reading from this month, but I have thoughts. So obviously this book is just a smutty romance book. It's just good fun, and that was what I got from it. I definitely preferred the first book. I felt like the characters had a lot more depth to them. The main female character in this book, I just don't really feel like we got much from her. I didn't really know much about her interests or who she was beyond just the kind of front-facing element of her we saw. I just didn't really feel like we got that depth with her. However, it is a smutty rom-com book. It's not really heavy on the plot. It is very predictable and follows a very specific formula. Sorry, my camera battery ran out, but I return. So yes, enjoyed the book. One of the things that is constantly mentioned in this book and the other book is how gigantically big the guys' penises are in this book. They all just seem to have gigantic penises, and I don't know what is in the water over there, but apparently they all just are very well endowed. Whilst this book is really good for sex positivity and it talks about a lot of things that would otherwise be taboo subjects, and I like that about it, it does definitely contribute towards some negative attributes, such as this huge giant penis thing that all of these sports guys have, and it's like contributing to a stereotype but also contributing to this feeling of pressure that men have on them as well. So that side of things I'm not as in love with, but it's a fun series, it's fine, it's smutty, I enjoyed it, and I like the sex scenes in these books. At times they make me laugh, especially the language used. I still can't get over the fact that in America the word sex is used to describe a vulva. Why? It makes no sense to me, but we move on. I need to pick what I'm going to read next, so hang on, let's go look at my TBR cart. So I managed to finish that book before my family got here, and they are now hopefully-ish on their way over. So I am able to start another book. I finished that one quicker than I thought I would. And I have two choices. So as far as the TBR cart goes, I have these three that are actually on my May Fictionary TBR. A Woman Is No Man is what I'm currently listening to as an audiobook, and it is very, very good. Really enjoying that. Then we've got Rules for Vanishing and The Historian. This is a big book. This is a big book. I'm kind of tempted to leave this one until last, because then at least I know that I've only got that one to finish for the rest of the month. So that kind of leaves me with Rules for Vanishing, which I think has got kind of thrillery elements to it. So yeah, let's give this one a go. Okay, I'm starting to get a sense of deja vu now because I bought another plant. Okay, I can't help myself. Look how wild it looks. I love it. I love plants that just kind of go all over the place. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but it was a good purchase. I also got some pins. I got a little Heart World badge. I got this little rainbow and this little jar here that says spend time in nature, which I very much agree with, and I'm going to pop these on one of my bags. So I was able to get a little bit of reading done before I went on a walk. I did a 3-point-something mile walk. Let's say nearly 4 miles. Nearly 4 mile walk with my mum and Pippin. Did a really lovely walk. It's one of my favourite routes. It's such a nice day. But before I went out, I read about 70 pages of this book, Rules for Vanishing. It's about somebody whose sister went missing, and it's surrounded by like this ghost story kind of thing of this girl that went missing in the 50s. And this is now in 2017. And it's the anniversary of this girl's sister going missing from 1 year ago, and there's a weird text message that's been sent around inviting people to find out more about this missing case by playing a game. I need to see how this is going to unfold. I'm not quite sure what direction it's going to take. I thought it was more thrillery, but I think it might be more a kind of ghosty mystery element to it. I'm not too sure, but the cover like has a kind of ghosty face on it, which is definitely making me think maybe it's going to have more paranormal vibes. I feel like it's maybe going to have spooky elements, I don't know, but so far it's been told in kind of a mixed media. We've got police interviews, we have text messages, and then we have normal just standard chapters as well. So there's a bit of a mix, which is making the pacing go quite fast whilst not much yet has happened. I'm just establishing who everyone is, which is a little bit confusing, especially in the text message conversations, because I don't know who all the characters are yet, so I'm still getting used to that. I realise as well I never gave the mistake a rating that I finished earlier, so I think it's going to be around a 3.5 stars. I haven't run it through Corpal yet, but that was what I gave the other one, and I think I did enjoy the other one more, but I still enjoyed them both, like, for the same reasons. It's the kind of book where you feel warm and fluffy at the end, which is not what I expected out of it, but yeah, it was good. I've downloaded the other one. There's 2 more that I haven't read, and then one like 5 years later book, I think. So I've downloaded the next one to be able to read maybe on my holiday, maybe before. It completely depends on this and The Historian, which is chonky. So it's currently 5. I'm gonna go sit outside and read for a little bit, and then later I'm gonna order pizza, and Eurovision is on. I'm very excited. It's such a cheesy show, but it's good fun. You're really getting a good shot of Pikachu's ass right now. Hang on, let's... Hey, I'm gonna wrap up the vlog here because I wanna go shower and take off all my makeup and get into my PJs so I can order my pizza and sit and watch Eurovision and just be chilled. I read more of this book. I got to there. It just got over 100 pages and it got creepy. There was a moment that creeped me out, and yeah, it creeped me out in the middle of the day. So that's successful for this book, I think. I don't really know too much about it enough yet to make a proper judgment. I am enjoying it, and it is definitely atmospheric, but at the same time I'm only really half aware the whole time of what's actually going on, which I feel like at the 100-page mark I should have a better grasp of the plot. It's just very disjointed, but I assume that's done to make me feel more unsettled as a reader, in which case it's definitely doing its job, because I don't really know what's happening, but I'm along for the ride. So I'm gonna wrap this vlog up here. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do give it a thumbs up. Pikachu, thumbs. Do you have thumbs? He doesn't really have thumbs, but he's trying to do it anyway. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you've been reading this week, and subscribe to see more of my face on your feed. I hit 12k subscribers this week, which is very, very, very exciting. So thank you so much for 12k. That is wild to me. Just thank you. You can also find down below a link to my Patreon and also my Twitch. I do lots of extra content on both. Patreon gets weekly live shows. There's a book club that I've just announced the pick for. There's also a podcast. There's just a lovely community on Discord as well. We're really active, talking daily. There's lots of fun stuff there. And Twitch is where I stream games that I play, such as Unravel 2 that I started last night and nearly cried on stream because it was so cute and it gave me all the feels, so that was good. I also stream Skyrim, Zelda, Pokemon, all sorts of things. Pikachu enjoys streaming with me. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Keep smiling and stay positive.